So today's question is, what is something your character lies to themselves about? Um, Alex, let's go with you first.
So Xerix grew up in a sort of a community where they didn't, they were very confident in what they thought. And they didn't believe in lying to the people around them because they wanted to make sure everything was true and right. That said, the things that they teach aren't exactly true, but they don't know that. So his Xerix doesn't necessarily lie to himself because he believes the things that he knows. Um, but that doesn't mean that these things are true. And the things that he tells himself that aren't actually true, but he still believes in this, is the gods and patrons that his community all exalts and worships actually care about them. This is not true. They're just another group of worshippers um, that they get power from, and if they aren't worshiping the gods, then somebody else will. So he believes that the people or the gods and deities and whatnot who are attempting he's attempting to gain favor with actually care about him. That's kind of a lie, even though he believes it. So
Interesting. Yeah. If you believe in like a lot of things, but it's anyone else would be like you're lying to yourself. Interesting. Okay. Famil. What is something Famil lies to herself about?
I'm honestly pulling a blank.
It could be something that maybe you want to believe in or something you want to be true, but deep down, maybe you know, maybe Famil knows, like, that's not the case.
Um, I think she believes, even though she doesn't want to believe, that because she's been wandering for so long by themselves, that they're better off that way. I'm sorry, I can't really think up much.
That's okay. I think that's great. So, like, um, she feels like she's better off alone, but deep down she knows that's not always true. That's not the case. That she needs help. She needs allies. Is that kind of what you're thinking?
Yeah, sorry. I don't know if my mic's picking up.
Great. And Ira's was she said Ira lies to herself about why they left the islands in the first place. She's repressed it so long that she doesn't really remember the truth of why her and her sister and her mother left the islands, the Moonshay Isles. Which I think that makes sense. Like, she probably thinks there's a reason, has come up with a reason, and keeps telling herself that's the reason, but isn't sure. Like, she's always doubting that what she believes. And I didn't see anything from Geldloth. And nothing from Lithius. So, with that, we will go back to the barn. Okay. So, you guys had just finished defeating the undead, their bodies strewn about in this room. Some burned, some smashed, some stabbed. But there are no other moving creatures except for the party. What would you guys like to do?
I want to look at the thing on the floor that
Sure.
I am kind of hovering above.
Okay.
Xerix will also certain he threw
Okay.
holy water onto.
I think Fammal is still what did we say, dissociated at the
Oh
moment
yeah,
too.
disassociated. Yeah, so you'll need like
Yeah.
a short rest to clear that up.
Uh-huh.
So you both approach the circle. Part of it submerged in water. You can tell, both of you can tell that it is some sort of magic circle. It does not look very familiar to you, Fammal, but it does look familiar to Xerix. Unfortunately, with the water damage, neither of you are able to read the rest of the ancient words written on it. But you can tell that it was something that was put in place here. But it wasn't. It was hastily, sloppily created.
But like it
So
was made really quick.
it wasn't professional, or it was in a hurry.
Let's have you both do an investigation roll. And you're welcome to use Colossus as an investigation roll as well.
Yeah, that tracks.
Yeah, I know.
Well then, Xerix, you kind of get the feeling that it was like someone didn't know how to write. Like they didn't know how to hold the brush or write the runes. It's that kind of sloppy. Like a
Amateurs.
kindergartner did it.
This isn't a good ritual spell. He will look in the book that he got from Bailey and see if there's like something in it about ritual circles.
Did you Xerix signed the page
Yes.
with his makeshift, what he believes is a signature? Okay. You see that there are several pages in here about summoning circles. The interesting thing is that the book and its portrayals of summoning circles do not look like this. They look more angular, not circular. So that's. Let's have you give me a let's have you give me an Arcana roll. As you're rifling through the pages of these summoning circles, you go a few sections back and you come across a section that has transformation circles written, and one of them looks very similar to this circle that's on the floor.
Is there any description about the circle?
It just kind of gives a general analysis of transformation circles. It's not a huge section on them. They're not as useful to um the all classes. But it does say that there has to be a host and there has to be a source for the transformation. And there needs to be power sources around said circle.
Okay. You said a host and a source and a power source?
Yes, multiple power sources around the circle. In the illustration in your book, it's showing the circle and it's showing 5 glowing gems on the outside of the circle, evenly spaced. In the middle, it shows a sheep in the illustration. And then it shows chains being strapped to the sheep as if they're coming from thin air. But that's kind of what you gather.
Yeah, I will relay this information to the party. Show. Yeah, it has this weird fluffy creature in the center. Don't know what it is, but it talks about how it needs host someone to become the thing or to be infected by the stuff. And there are these weird crystals. And Xerix will kind of look around, see if there are any of those power sources around. Maybe not exactly a crystal, but like maybe a scroll or a book or a stone.
Become the sheep?
So if you're kind of
really
pointing
want to become
this,
a sheep.
if you're pointing this out to the party, Fammal, you do know that there was that moment where there was those undead that were like standing outside of the circle, like in those designated spots, evenly apart.
Right, yeah, there was the undead. They were trying to stand on those little circles.
They were sacrificing themselves
to
Lord
become
of
a
the
sheep?
magic.
Kalas will say like, well, I mean, I don't know about undead, but like we living have an energy about us. Like that's our lifeblood, our source.
So why were the creatures that were undead trying to become empowered? Maybe that was what the amateurs, weirdos with the
Maybe they were being
circle.
controlled?
Oh, they seemed rather intelligent almost. Not like average intelligence, but there was some sort of, intelligence with their moves during combat. Maybe they're not quite undead.
Intelligent enough to follow some orders? Maybe?
Indeed.
With the bodies that we've defeated around the room, and with the bodies that are piled here, how many total would you say are bodies?
I believe there was 15?
But not just the ones we fought, but the ones that were being risen. So the ones in this pile as well.
Yeah,
okay.
Did they look like town folk or anything?
Yeah, is it enough for a small village? That's my question.
I would say yes, enough for a small village.
Okay.
Probably you give an account of maybe like 50 in that range of bodies in this room.
Corpse party.
Something in the water.
Look over at this flask thing,
Okay.
or whatever that is.
You go to a fruit crusher that is usually used for making wine, but instead of fruits, it's filled with a horrid smelling sludge of viscera. You see that there are some skeletal remains, their bones bobbing in the sludge.
This might be where they got the paint from.
As you look at the color of the sludge and the color on the markings, you notice that they are very similar in hue.
Step away from that. Get away from the smell a little bit. Although I'm assuming it's permeating the air.
Yeah, the smell is like everywhere in this room, especially with the undead moving and, coming out of the hay. But I would say that a lot of you, like most of you, have gotten used to it.
All gonna need to get dunked in a river or something.
Smells like home.
Oh, joyous.
Can I see what these two objects are?
Yeah. So the object to your left, a long dead carcass of a boar, sits on this workbench. It is nothing more than an empty husk, its skin dry and crumbly to the touch. It sits atop the workbench, which is usually used to store tools, but its drawers have rusted shut.
I noticed some dead animals downstairs. I wonder if they were poisoned or if they all just came up here and decided to kill each other.
We had a description of one of them before, but I don't quite remember. I think Xerix saw it, didn't think anything of it, but then other people saw it, did a successful message.
Yeah, it was, I believe it was one of the horses. And you would notice that it was in a similar state to this pig. Dry, crusty, like it was dehydrated. And I believe Ayre did a medicine check and determined that it had died of poisoning. And this one is in a similar state.
How about this nice little pile of skulls?
Yeah.
Is it just decorative?
A stack of bleached human skulls with just a light spattering of blood.
Yep, just decorative.
Yep.
Pretty.
It really livens up the room.
Might just add that to my bag.
There was...
What's this thing over here?
There was
That-
a cage.
There was a cage. Its remains shattered on the floor from the creature breaking through. This is a spinny thing. I don't remember what it's
Spindle?
called anymore. Spindle?
Scientific.
Or a loom.
Yeah, it's like used for wool and stuff, and I think
General
hay.
decoration.
It's also decor.
This is what they use to spin their clothes out of flesh. Sinew and the bone. Wow.
If I prick my finger on it while I fall asleep for 1,000 years.
But probably best not to try. I can't imagine this place is super sanitary.
bucket of water over there. I want to try drinking that too.
So Famala has absolutely no idea what's going on because they have not been on the adventure the whole time.
Well, you kind of joined in the important parts. The bottom of the well had like a lot of the same kind of thing, just like viscera and massive dead zombies' bodies and whatnot. I mean, I guess they aren't zombies if they were still a little bit alive. They're just
Right.
had a goal. But
And there was that person that we thought vaporized against the wall.
Yeah. I mean, we didn't really know them very well. And it stood in the way, getting blasted by the sorcerer.
So should we just gather everybody downstairs and take a short rest, or should we look for more clues?
Xerix is gonna do a quick romp in the hay before we go downstairs and like check out, because these creatures were like literally hiding, which means they were self-aware that they could be seen, and they were aware
Right.
that they could surprise someone as well. So I want to check to see if there's like anything in the hay bales. Hay bales.
Hi.
Hey.
Which hay bale you want to investigate?
The center.
The center one?
Yeah.
Okay. Give me an investigation. You reach in. I guess, how are you investigating? Are you like kind of thinning out the hay? Are you just kind of shoving your hands in or shoving your head in, or how are you doing this?
Xerix would probably just like not jump in, but like move in his whole body to the bale. Whatever needles are inside.
Fuse with the hay.
Okay. Upon your investigation, you find a skeleton. Its flesh has been rotted and absorbed into the hay. The hay around it is blackened. And you find remaining pieces of cloth. On your investigation, with that really good roll, you find that there's a pair of tin, I guess, aluminum glasses. The lens is cracked and stained with a brown substance. And you find a jacket worn and has holes in it of what used to be a really nice fabric. You recognize this fabric to be of Baldarian origin.
I've heard so much about that gate.
That famous gate.
Such a walk, that Baldarian.
And jeez.
Something in Xerx's head is just gonna be like, there was something off about the, like, why was there a carcass on top of the bridge? See if there's more to that.
If you want to, because there was the rusted drawer, you are welcome to try and open it. With a strength check. The DC is 14.
Is it locked or just...
Nope, it's just rusted shut. Or if you have any tools that would help with that.
I think I have a crowbar. But...
You got it. That 18. You realize it's like, oh man, this is rusted. This is rusted shut. And you kind of like smack the sides a bit and you're kind of wiggling the drawer, and then you use just a quick force and you pull the drawer out. And inside you find a moldy piece of paper. You find a dry inkwell and a crumbling quill.
Okay. That didn't very much help. To write on the paper be about
Okay.
bathroom.
Deed to the town.
Another deed. Huzzah!
Show to players, show to everyone.
Oh, jeez. There's a novel on this
You're
moldy
like,
piece
"Aw."
of paper.
Oh wow, that is a novel.
sh- uh,
Would you like me to read it out loud?
if you want, I can too.
Okay, how about you read it out loud?
Okay. To whom
That's a
it
good
may concern,
Hamish.
I pen this desperate missive as the last flicker of hope dins within me. My name is Dr. Hamish, once a respected doctor from the mainlands, sent by the king to survey the Isles of Moonshed. I had only been in this small village of Blackstone for a few months, curing simple ailments until I realized what was happening. After patient 0 and many before them had changed, I realized my efforts had been in vain. The virus, this unholy amalgamation of malevolence, defies our every attempt at containment. Its genesis remains shrouded in mystery, a Pandora's box of suffering. We trace the first containment to a small river near the Pirate's Skull Inn, but do not know the whereabouts of its origin. Patient 0, a hapless soul, unwittingly unwittingly unleashed the apocalypse upon us. He came from Skull Inn along the river, complaining of stomach aches and chills. He said he was a witness to the dwarves and pirateers celebrating to a business agreement in hopes of preventing future disagreements and blocks on shipments. After partaking in drink and food, he woke up ill and was planning to head to the capital for treatment. He collapsed in the village square here at Blackstone and was brought to my makeshift hospital. I believe his name was Delamain, though it mattered not as he died in the next evening. I had him transported to the barn to prep for a biopsy. I had just finished the surgery on the body when the other villagers began to show similar symptoms. With the help of Esme and her husband, I turned my place of residence into a quarantine bay, and the barn into a morgue for the dead. What a fool I was to leave the dead unburied, unburned. The remaining villagers kept demanding that we hold and wait for the priests from the capital to come and help, give last rites to those who passed. We waited 3 days, and people kept getting sicker and dying. Only a handful of us remained, but we didn't expect the dead to come back. My hands tremble as I pen these words. The dead don't stay dead for long. It takes 4 days for the bodies to shift. In that time, the body seems to shrink, shrivel up, almost. The teeth blacken and their nail plates extend as if they are going to fall out from the cuticle, but but somehow stay on. On the fourth day, from the time of death, the body will move and sit up as if nothing were wrong. Kilroy was the first victim today, but I know he's not the last. I can hear the screams coming from the village as I sit here now, and I smell smoke. I write this note from a barricaded loft. The stench of death surrounds me in this loft, in this barn. I lead most of the undead creatures to the barn and told Esme and her husband to lock the doors, to escape, and send for help at the capital. I hope they can make it. But my hope dwindles, like a guttering candle. It's a matter of time before these creatures scrawl up the stairs and break the barricade. They seem to have an intelligence about them, and I can't explain, like they are communicating with each other, without words. And now, all I know, that there is no cure, and there are no gods coming to aid. If you find this, know that I fought until my last breath. I implore you, seek refuge, find solace, and remember our fallen. Perhaps in your hands lies the key, a cure, an explanation, or a blessing. May you succeed where I failed. May the gods help us all. Dr. Hamish.
Fantastic.
Woo!
Good job. Yay. Yeah. As you read that letter out loud, the party puts, well, I guess if you explained that you had found the body in the hay, but you, Xerix, put 2 and 2 together, and you realize that skeletal remains with the glasses and the fancy cloth, there is the remains of Dr. Hamish.
He must have been the doctor. He was wearing glasses. Only smart people. I should give him glasses so people think I'm smart.
Yep, it's the glasses, and you knew he was a doctor because of the really fancy fine cloth.
Yeah.
Only doctors are wealthy.
Yeah.
Is Fammal able to tell how old these bodies are?
Sure. You let's have you do a nature or a medicine.
Ready? There we go. Oh, yep.
Gosh, it's really hard to tell. Like, you just heard the letter about that the bodies shrink and like they dehydrate, like their fluids escape the remains. So it's really hard to tell how old. So in your mind, these must be like, 300 years old, if not older.
They're just jerky to me at this point.
Yeah. These are mummies.
Mummies? More like nummies.
But
Xerix is kind of wondering how, since the doctor was the most exposed, since he was around all these people, how was he able to resist the whole disease?
But did he barricade up here, or did he barricade in a different house and then walk up here?
Well, he said he was riding for the loft. And the front of the barn was locked. So, if it was locked, either the creatures themselves locked it, or they found another way in. Or they were just in here before he even locked himself. I don't know. Our smart people are not here. They're off being normal, having normal lives.
How dare they?
Yeah. Seriously, help us solve this puzzle.
Kalas is gonna be like, well, that's unfortunate that he couldn't find a cure. It sounds like there was some sort of pandemic that happened here. But I thought these creatures, I mean, I guess with the circle, I thought that they were made. But this makes it sound like there's a disease. And how come it didn't spread to the rest of the island? What happened to the rest?
Well, if it was contained here, we should probably leave and get ourselves cured with magic, because we might be infected. Literally.
Yeah, some of us have been bit.
That's true. Oh, that's true. Some of us have been bit. Okay, well, we should leave this town, and maybe we should lock the barn up just to be safe. Should we burn these bodies? What if we burn the barn before we leave?
I think
Bonfire,
in honor of our
bonfire.
fallen comrade, Bailey, we should burn everything.
Okay, I agree. It is what the doctor had suggested or failed to do. Maybe that's the thing. We need to burn the bodies.
A lot of flammable stuff up here.
Well, I have a torch.
All right. Let's get to burning, everyone, and then we'll do lunch outside. I think Geldloth and Lithius and Ayre will head downstairs. We'll go down the stairs.
I think if when they come back, have any questions, we just retcon that they search certain things before we burned everything down.
Yeah, that's fine. They will be outside. Let's get the flame going. So how are we starting a fire?
I say we start in the corners where the hay bales are.
Okay.
Each of us light the corner and then runs to the stairs.
Sounds good to me.
And we do it.
Yeah.
Unless we have to
Do
do
it.
something special.
Nope. Just start. As soon as you start those fires.
Oh, damn.
And we're dead.
You guys make it out in time as you see the fires begin to spread. And you see the pool of water begin to evaporate and the wood floors burn and darken. You guys get outside. Oh no, not
And
the
I
fire!
hope that doesn't set
Whoops.
anything off.
The fire follows you outside. Fire alarms go off.
This isn't a normal
Fire
fire. This is a
alarms.
fire elemental. It's just following us.
Oh no, we're not going to set the forest on fire, are we?
It's fine. It
Too
wouldn't be
late
the
now.
first time.
See what happens, smart people, when you leave us alone? We burn shit down.
They get back. So what happened? The whole entire island is on fire now.
The fire begins to spread to the surrounding trees, but it's having a little bit of a harder time because of all the rain that's been going on.
I forgot about the rain.
Speaking of, now that you are outside, the longest rain. Okay, and with that.
Did we thoroughly check these other buildings?
Yeah, I mean, I believe all of you had checked, and you are all told about how this building had been barricaded from the inside.
Mm-hmm.
And that there was 2 bodies in there that were holding hands, and that was like a makeshift hospital. There was like many beds, sick buckets. You guys are, I would say it's probably mid-afternoon. You guys are welcome to do a rest here if you like, or you can continue forward.
Well, probably get a good distance away. Probably so we can see the town, but not
Okay.
blindsided by any other creatures.
Yeah, I think some of us need a rest so we can heal up.
Okay. You head down the muddy road, turning around as you leave the village edge and you're in the farmlands, heading down the mountainside. And you turn around and you see the smoke, the black smoke rising from what was once Blackstone Village. But you all feel at peace, I would say. You feel that those souls in their burning are finally being let go. Koloss says a quick prayer, and you guys continue forward.
So we got short rest.
Yeah, you guys could have taken a short rest before you left town, so like an hour. And you guys are a good distance away from the village if you would like to do a long rest or a short rest here. It is early evening.
Do I click this button in the character sheet that says short rest, or?
Yeah.
Okay.
But during this short rest, what would you guys like to do?
Xerix wants to continue going over the book. It seems like it has content that we're dealing with, rituals and transformation, maybe dead and whatnot.
You study the book, and in this time, at the end of the hour, you feel somehow more powerful. You feel a slight tingling in your fingertips, but it feels comforting, and it feels like a bond has deepened in that hour of you reading this book. You feel like you can call on another source of power within yourself, something different. But you feel like there is something that is bestowing a gift on you. This extra power. And you, Xerix, get a level in Warlock.
Yay!
But if there's anything else you guys would like to do during this short rest,
What are all the hit dice for?
So when you take a short rest, you are missing hit points. You roll hit die, and recover some health. You have a number of health hit die equal to your level. And you use as many as those as you want for short rest. You have a resource, and you get half of them when you rest.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that tracks.
That's
And And so what you get with the hit die, do you just add that to your HP?
Your current.
Okay.
Okay. Kalas is making prayers. She's helping bandage what she can, and she says, either I don't know how far, because there's the capital, right? But I don't know how far it is. But if we rest, if we find some place to camp for the night, the next morning I could do some kind of lesser restoration or cure poison or something.
You have enough for everyone? Did you bring enough for the class?
Maybe. And not all of us got bit, right?
I didn't.
I got bit.
So I think I have enough for those that got bit, but
Think, oh, what's new guy?
Lithius?
That bit. The one I can't say.
That one.
The one I can't pronounce.
Lithius.
Lithius.
I think he also got bit. Well, I'm not sure, but I think Geldloth too. So we traveled underground for a while, and then we got to the inn, and then traveled again and got to Blackstone. Do we know where we are, and do we know where the capital is, or character?
Yeah, you have a rough idea that it is south. Let's see, from your point of view, you know that it is southeast.
Okay. Do we have a map?
You do. Let me see if I can share it. I know you guys have it. Map. Map. It's a map. It's a map.
On the map, on the map, on the map.
This one? No. It was this one. Show to players. There you go. There's your map. You guys are near. Guys are at Blackstone. Maybe this will be easier. Just bring you here. Here's the map. And you guys are now right there.
Okay.
So you can see that you are near the forest edge. You're still in kind of the mountainous range.
And do we have any direction of where to go next? We have a lot of hints at what's going on around us, but the next thing that we heard was the capital.
As far as I know, that's kind of where the group had wanted to head to, was the capitals. You guys are currently just on a muddy road.
Yeah, so I think stop in town might be good, or just mental state, some civilization, clear out that all business that we've done. Maybe help Fammal with
Oh,
their
Fammal's
bearings.
Fammal, in that short rest, your disassociation has cleared up. You have become grounded, and you feel first-person view in your body again. You kind of,
I'm no longer floaty.
yeah, you're not floating. You're not like, not understanding what is happening. If anything, you understand more of what you just experienced, what you've been experiencing since you've arrived in this crazy place. But you can feel your body again. But yeah, you go gather that you can either camp as soon as you get to the tree line of Durnell Forest, or you can push your way through the evening to get to Caer Caladir by the morning. Because you guys did take a long rest at the inn, at the Skull Inn. But I'll leave it up to you. What would you guys like to do?
Hard to make a decision.
Yeah.
I'm fine with going through the forest till the morning, but Fammal is also very familiar with the forest, so
With that confidence, Xerix will probably say that we should head forward through the night. The prospect of town seems appealing, as he likes being around people.
Okay.
People are more predictable than undead zombies.
Well, after your short rest, you all get back up on your feet. At least the road is downward, so you're not having to climb up a hill. It's easier on your knees and everything. But you head down the muddy road, and after some time, you reach the forest's edge. The road is a little more manageable in the forest, but it's still very wet, with large pools forming along the forest floor from all the rain. I'll have you guys go ahead and give me either a perception check or a nature check in the forest.
forever low rolls.
Copy. Hold on, I gotta update this forest map. We're missing some people. There you go. Ooh, nice. Uh, okay. Fammal, you're a ranger. But it's kind of a spooky forest. You're not really thinking anything different. You've never been in this forest before. Both of you notice, with all the extra moisture, a new form of life has begun to pop up on the trees and the plants. You see different kinds of mushrooms line the tree trunks and the base of the forest floor. You see some yellow, some red, some puffy and round. Just different kinds of fungi. Alex, Xerix, with that nat 20, you notice strange, very tiny mushrooms that appear to glow a faint blue.
these are new.
Yes, you've never seen these mushrooms before.
They'll stop while traveling to inspect them for any kind of psychedelic use.
On inspection, you realize that they give a sweet smell. Almost smells of a slightly burnt caramel. There's a smoky, caramely flavor to them, or scent to them.
Well, not sure what they do. So he'll take a handful now, and then when he's in town, in his drug den, he will try them.
Okay. Please mark on your character sheet that you harvest. I would say you probably harvest 10 of these tiny mushrooms that are glowing. And when you pick them up out of the ground, you feel a slight zap in your fingertips. It's not painful. It's like a static shock when you pick them up, but they still keep their glowiness to them. They're about the size of a quarter. They're very tiny. But you gather 10. 10 mysterious, glowing, glowy blue mushrooms that smell yummy.
Yummy, glowing mushrooms that shock you.
It's electrifying.
They're nerds.
They're nerds.
Bioreactive nerds.
What's the exploding candy? The
Pop rocks?
Yeah, they're pop rocks. Pop shrooms. What is your natural forest? Excellent. So Fammal, even though this is a forest you've never been to, your instincts and history with forests kick in, and you are easily able to navigate through this forest so that the group doesn't get lost, which is what happened last time.
Oh, they got lost last time?
Yeah. And with your expertise, you guide the party out of the forest edge. You can see a clearing up ahead, and you notice small stones standing upright in the fields, in the grassy plains. They become more noticeable as you continue on the path until you come to a familiar place. Xerix, Ayre, and Geldloth all have a sense of, okay, I know where we are. I know where town is. A sense of familiarity is somehow comforting to you all. Though it is slightly different from the last time you were here. Xerix, you were really eager to come to this place. You remember why?
I do.
Excellent.
You remember why?
I don't remember which one, but I remember why.
Okay. I think it was like here.
Okay.
He'll just go and look for his flask.
As you go into the graveyard, you see that a lot of the graveyard is beginning to flood. Pools of water from the rain kind of starting to fill the spaces. And you see that one undead who you had buried, he's just sitting on top of this building. Just kind of has his legs over, and he's just kind of lightly kicking him. And he sees you, and he waves.
What? Well, slightly extends their hand and waves back. Very confusedly.
See, Xerix goes to the grave that he buried his flask in, sees the creature on the roof, and then does the thing where how cats just stop moving when they notice they've been spotted. They just stop there and like stare at the creature.
Deer in the headlights.
The creature
Uh,
just kind of continues like kicking his legs off the side. He's like looking around. He returned the wave to Fammal and just kind of looking around.
All right.
be in a graveyard.
Very
You are.
Xerix will very slowly and carefully retrieve his flask from the gravesite. Bury it.
You have retrieved flask.
Sweet, nectar.
Finally, a quest has been accomplished.
Finds that it's full. It's like, it's been too long.
Everyone levels up. No.
Da-na-na-na. Flask obtained.
That just gives you enough XP to put you over. Did it. Colossus will be like, what's with the fellow on the roof?
Oh, so this isn't a friend of yours?
I've never been here before. I don't know what that's about, but he seems friendly.
Honestly, I don't remember. I remember we were fighting for our life. I don't remember them being friendly.
Oh. Well, do you think he needs help? I mean,
It doesn't look.
should we go talk to him?
I mean, with the experience we just had.
That's true. I guess if he can't cross the water, then leave him to it.
I think
Are they allergic to water?
What was that?
Are they allergic to water or something?
Undead can't cross water. Maybe it's holy water.
The whole town's flooded with holy water.
It's a holy lake.
That just makes it too easy. Somebody bless the rains down in Caracality.
Yeah.
That's how the infection didn't spread.
That's the doctor was actually a priest. That's why he was fine.
Yeah, he actually sacrificed himself for all of our sins.
Yeah. Thank you, Dr. Jesus Hamish. Yeah. Colossus is gonna be like, should we finish him off? Do you think we should kill him?
I think there's something in the new book I found. I've picked up reading, kind of a new thing for me. But this book has a lot of really helpful information. Something about coming together as a community and sharing each other's resources. You'll get it later, but there's something in this. If I take 10 minutes to read from it, I can understand any language spoken. So maybe if we do that and try to communicate with it.
Oh, okay. Yeah, do that.
He does seem like a calm fellow, doesn't he?
It's weird how, like, undead he is, and then he's just sitting like he's waiting for a ride. Or, like, he's taking a break from roofing.
He's up there because he needed to fix the roof and the ladder fell down.
Yeah. That's exactly right. That's what he's giving. But I see no ladder, so how did he get up there?
Are undead really good at climbing, or?
Oh, I don't know. Maybe there was more undead that like he that helped him, and then they left.
He's just buggered off.
Yeah.
So Xerix will ritually cast Comprehend Languages.
Nice.
So whatever anyone else wants to do for 10 minutes. Take care of that, but he'll be busy.
Kalas has 2 remaining spells, and she's going to use Speak with Dead.
It's like, all right, hold on, I'm gonna understand the languages, and she's just like, I'm just gonna talk to him.
I'm just gonna go talk to
I'm just
him.
gonna go talk to him.
Take 10 minutes? What?
I'm just gonna go magically talk to him.
I mean, I'd help, but I can only speak to animals, so.
I don't even know if this is going to work, because he's upright. Usually this works on things that are still.
You cast the spell and it comes up. Cannot target undead.
I mean, maybe we can paralyze him.
Cannot target undead. Wait a minute.
Speak with dead. Cannot target undead.
Yeah, it says the corpse must still have a mouth and can't be undead. And she tries to cast it, and she gets like that pop up, and she's like, "It's telling me I can't cast it because the creature's undead." I guess that makes sense. Let's just go talk to him. Let's go see what he's up to.
All right, yeah, I'll just start walking up.
Is this deep water, or is it just?
It is
puddles?
deep water around here. It is like 2 feet deep here, but it's like pretty deep and dark around here and here. So we can go along the path here. Nice little walk in the graveyard.
Fammal's just going to wave their arm and say, "Can you understand me?"
The guy's like, that's like, "Oi! I can understand you! What?
The fuck you on about?
What's your name?
What's your name?"
Okay, he's just repeating me.
See, the language that this creature is trying to understand is sarcasm.
Oh my god, inspiration for that.
He's proficient in it.
Oh my god.
Well, there goes my idea. Your turn.
Kalas is gonna be like, do you need help? And the guard's gonna be like, no, I just like to come up here and, look at all the things I own, which is nothing. My spot got flooded and I didn't know where else to go. So I came up here. And then he sees Xerix and he's like, "Hey, you! I remember you. You were with those other people. They here? It was that one lady, the lady with the sword."
I'm very confused about what's going on.
Lady with the sword?
Did we communicate earlier? Have we exchanged pleasantries?
Well, I mean, I did with the people that was with you. I don't know if I don't remember. I know you though. I recognize you. You asked if you could bury things. I said sure. You killed the rest of the people that came out of their holes.
Rude.
You guys like brought me like to try and talk to me or something, but I just kind of told you what. And I think I gave you a journal. It's been a while. It's been a few years.
So, were you in a different state of physical being the last time we saw you?
No, I was dead.
Oh.
I was just kind of mad that, like, you know, all the ruckus was going on. I was just trying to sleep over there. And he points over here. And then you guys, like, cleared out the hooligans that was raising dead and stuff, and you guys helped. One of you dug my hole back up so I could get in there. It was very nice. I was hoping maybe you could do it again, but it's flooded, and I don't want to sit in water because I don't like how it feels on my bones. I don't like wet bones.
Yeah, I soaking your bones. I would like to ask the DM if I could do like a history check because I don't remember this situation at all. Did you go over like the graveyard scene and watch it and then like?
I went roughly over it. So this was an undead that had popped up with the rest of them, and while all the others had charged and attacked you guys, because of those two cultists that had brought them, so that they raised the dead so that they could run away. This guy was raised, but he didn't want to. He didn't want to fight, and he was pretty mad that he was raised. And after the fight, you guys went and talked to him because he was not hostile. And Geldloth had dug his grave so he could get back in it, and he gave you guys like some of his items that were buried with him. I think it was like money and a journal. And he just kind of explained like, you know, what being dead's like, and told you about the forest. And then you guys buried him so that he could try and go back to rest. But his problem was not solved. And he was still conscious, just in a grave. And then the rain flooded his grave. And so now he's here. I believe his name was Gary. He was like a military guy.
Are there like coliseums around here?
Coliseums?
Or just like, you know, buildings where they put dead in? Or are they all on the ground and these houses are like groundkeepers kind of houses?
No, these houses are like for the dead.
I'm gonna point over to them and say, why don't you just sleep there?
I didn't pay for that. That's like somebody's family paid for that. I can't just like, hey, it's me, your long lost cousin Gary. Let me sleep here. I mean, I don't know if they would even respond. Like, I don't know. You killed off all the ones that were raised, but maybe the ones that are inside were raised but just can't get out.
That's a valid point.
I don't have anything that can help with water.
Well, that's okay. Maybe I can just, I'll just stay here. Maybe the rain will stop eventually. It's been raining a lot. Like, this has never happened before in my time as a dead person. Not that I would remember before this being raised, but I'll just, don't worry about me. You guys carry on. Maybe you can figure out stopping the rain or something.
And that language is guilt
You go on, guys. It's
Don't
okay.
worry about me.
It's okay.
I'll just
It's
sit up here,
alright.
soggy bones.
Lonely.
Soggy bones.
Good old Gary Soggy Bones.
Gary Soggy Bones.
Very soggy bones. Could we just move his headstone to drier land?
Oh, that's a great idea.
what if you move in with someone else? Like, can you kick someone else out? One of these other dry. He points to some of these over here. If they're a bit drier, just kick someone else out with lying here all dead. Like, I don't think they'll care. Dead and all.
I mean, if you destroyed the undead that came out of there, wouldn't it be empty anyway?
That's true, but like my headstone's over there, and that's like not my name. And how do I know it's not going to rain over there? How do I know it's not going to start flooding over there?
Well,
Listen, I may have panicked when the water started getting my grave, and I just climbed to like the highest spot in the graveyard. I don't want to go too far because, like, you know, people are going to be hostile towards me. I know I'm a dead.
maybe don't you want to be and he reads the headstone, Helga Haberdashery, loving wife, mother, and grandmother? Doesn't that sound like a nice headstone for you?
No, not at all. I did like 2 tours in the Great Isles of the Great during the War of Moon and Sun. I was like a commander of many military. I had so many badges that I won from doing good in war.
Eloquent.
I know. Also, that lady, she was more than that. She was a whore.
Wow. Speaking ill of the dead.
I said what I said. She knows it.
So that would just mean that
She
you
was a floozy.
She was a floozy and a downright no good knee shaker.
Well,
Hi,
now
Taylor.
I think maybe.
Are we talking about Amanda when she's not even here?
Maybe that would be a good time to like lay with her, if you know what I mean.
I didn't
tell her to
swing
make
that
room.
way. Tell her to make room. I never would lay with such a dishonest person. And her husband was a right old Chad.
Was a Chad.
You joined right at the right time.
Yeah, you did. Holy.
Here, we're gonna take a minute so you guys can catch them up on what all happened.
Arson happened.
I mean, a lot of stuff, but the important stuff is right now we're talking to a dead military guy who's refused to sleep with a dead wife, mother, and grandmother who has a husband for a Chad husband. That's the important part you gotta know.
Yeah, his grave's flooded. We're trying to get him to move, but he's not budging. Guilt tripping us to leave.
So in the barn, we did a bit of looking around. It seemed like the bloody ritual circle was hastily done before Xerix threw holy water on it. And then we looked around a bit. It seemed like we found a note from a doctor who was called into town to take care of the sick people. And one sick person came from the inn we stayed at, the Pirate Cove Inn, and then infected the entire town. And then the doctor was the last survivor of the town, and buried himself inside of the haystack. And we didn't really have any other ideas, so we burned down the barn, because that seemed like a good idea at the time.
Yes, let's
Bodies to
volatilize
rest.
the sickness.
Also, we felt like we were infected because we had been
Bit and scratched.
yeah. And that's how they
Generally slogging around a bloody room.
So we're pushing through the night and we found the graveyard. We got a short rest. That's where we're at now.
Did you show them the
And then
note?
I can roll hit die.
Yes.
Yeah.
You can roll hit die, and I'll go ahead and post the note that they had found. So y'all can see it.
He found his glasses.
The novel that he wrote in his final moments, which I guess he had quite enough time to write, so that's good, at least for him.
We got it edited and published.
So now we're just semi-arguing with an undead person that you guys may know.
I'm covering all my bases.
Yeah, so this person, I guess, I don't really remember too much about the graveyard fight. I remember that it seemed overwhelming at the time, but we managed to get it done. Apparently there was this other undead creature that refused to fight, and then we questioned him. And laid him to rest again in his gravesite, along with some other stuff. But it has been raining a lot lately, and now the graveyard is flooded. So
We have to save Zora Domain from the rain.
yeah, Princess Gary needs to get back to his home.
Geldloth, I think, was the one that
him.
interacted with this guy the most. Just reviewing the tape, the footage.
Is that like Princess Gary, so like a GH, like Gary?
It's Gary, Commander Gary. He was buried over here. Geldloth, you had gone and investigated him because he was just kind of standing there and he didn't attack. And he was just like, I don't want to do that. Like, I didn't even want to be awakened. And he tried to, he wanted to be buried back in his grave. So you dug the hole a bit, and then covered him. And he gave you some advice about the forest. And he also gave you a platinum for digging his hole and covering him with dirt to put him at rest. And then that was it with the interaction. But the place is flooded, and he is still undead, and so he's just on top of this building, just sitting there with his legs hanging over the ledge. And he had waved to the party. He'd waved to Xerix when Xerix went to go dig up his thing. And then Kalas and Fammal and Xerix are trying to interact with him. They're trying to convince him to take another spot.
Wait, so is this a different guy or the same guy?
This is the same guy, the same undead who didn't fight.
I thought you said he gave us a platinum for burying him.
Yeah, he was buried. But then he got out when his gravesite started to flood, and he panicked. And he told these guys he doesn't like wet bones. So
he was Commander Gary, and now he's Gary Soggy.
He used to be Gary Drybones.
The Soggy Saga continues. Fascinating.
Yeah, it's an important quest. Getting good old Mr. Soggy Bones back in his place of rest. Which we can't do anything about because we don't have anything with water.
It's true. That's why he told the group, was like, it's fine. You guys can't do anything. It's okay. Just leave me here. You guys are probably important. Doing some other thing. I'll just sit here on the ceiling. And if the world floods, the world floods.
Say lovey.
It is what it is. He pulls out a cigarette from nowhere, starts smoking it.
Jenny.
Pulls a butt from his butt.
How much water is this? Like,
There's a lot of.
If I were to cast Destroy Water, how many times would I have to cast it?
You would have to cast it probably 10 times.
Yeah, we don't have that many spells.
How did we find our way back here?
You guys had
Back
gone
here?
down the path after leaving Blackstone.
Was
And
this the same one from before?
yeah, this is the same graveyard from before.
Okay.
All those
So
many.
Xerix got his flask or whatever it was he buried.
Yeah. We joked that like he got the flask and then the party leveled up. It's like, you did it.
I'm glad this task was so important that other people remembered to.
It was the
That's like
it
the
was the
only
flask-
thing
it
I
was the
remember
flask-
about it.
The flask task.
Now for the flask tax. So with Fammal being a ranger and her specialty is forests, she was able to safely navigate you guys through the Durnell forest, the little bit that you had to go through to get onto the pathway here. And you guys are near the crossroads, where you can choose where you'd like to go next.
I thought we were going back to the town.
Didn't know our DM spoke uwu.
Ooh, ooh, ooh.
Or it might be Celtic.
It's Celtic.
We might be road waders.
We're crossroads. Yeah, so you guys are currently on your way back to Caer Caladir. You're at this gravesite. Xerix got his flask. Gary's out of his grave. And he's wet, and he's a little unhappy about that. He's got a sad face on.
Yeah, what did the happy one slough off?
He was happy, and then his
I can destroy water and make it so he doesn't have any water.
that would be nice.
But for how long?
I mean, if that's
Or
something you can do.
Or shape
What if he's
water.
like a spider and he requires the water to like move? You know?
No, I don't want the water. I don't want it touching me. I don't like that it's raining right now. Like, my bones are getting wet, and it doesn't feel good.
Oh, well, you need to find some place where you could be out of the rain, and then I can make you dry.
Okay, well,
I mean, there are coliseums.
Back
Yes.
in the hole.
would you guys be able to, like, check these buildings and make sure they're safe? I mean, I don't want to upset any undead that are in them and
That
think
sounds
that I'm,
a
like,
bait.
crushing on their territory. Also, I need help down. I'm kind of surrounded by water.
He's literally undead.
Hey, undead don't like being wet, okay?
This one doesn't.
Self-automatic.
It rehydrates their skin, which then just makes it all gooey and gross.
There's that, but that's not the issue. The issue is the bones. You don't want your bones wet.
Right.
Just
the
can't have
bones.
wet bones. And like, I just don't want my bones wet. My bones are getting wet, but they were getting more wet when I was in my grave. And I didn't like that. So now
Better
I'm
to
here.
be in a shower than a soup.
Yeah. If it's that or that, like the shower is gonna be better than being like at the bottom of a river or a pond. But preferably, I would like to be in a nice, dry, warm crypt. Just anything that's waterproof, really.
So we should go stab, like, the occupant of this place.
Just knock
Colossus
on
is
the
gonna be
door.
like, sure, yeah, let's knock on the door.
Anyone unalive in there?
Housekeeping.
You guys wait for a response, and you do not get one.
All right, I'll just open the door then.
You find that the door is locked. There is like
Great.
it's essentially like a grate, like a iron door, and there is a
great.
padlock.
Maul will look around and be
What?
like, "We have sneaky people on the team, right? Can they unlock this?"
We're doing this. We're doing. This is a lot, just for this one thing. This is our goal now. It's like 3 or 4 in the morning, and then we're doing this.
Gary needs our help, and I don't
feel
see a
bad
lot
for the
of.
guy. His name is Gary.
Yeah, that's what he said. He said his name is Gary. Said he was a commander or something.
I'm
Fine.
gonna step out of the way.
Is what? Is he the commander of a garrison?
He was. I was. Back when I was alive. Like I said, told these guys I earned lots of badges. You know, I told you about it. About the war and forest and stuff. I know it's been a few years. Well, I'll just, yeah, I'm gonna try and jump.
Break a leg.
I mean, hopefully it doesn't land in the water. Yeah, okay.
Can Gary swim?
Gary can probably not. I don't know.
I don't think he'll
Surely
drown.
there's not that much.
He won't drown, that's for sure.
Gets to here, and he just kind of he does just like a full body fall, and you just hear you just see him essentially do a body flop on the ground, and he just kind of lays there for a minute, and then just kind of like shakes, and he's like, I'm okay.
Still undead, Gary?
Yeah, I'm still undead. He sits up. Like his knee is like flipped around, and he just kind of twists his leg back around and fixes it in place. He's like, here, I'll go. I know I can scare people, so I'll just go over here. So I won't attack you or anything. I mean, not that I want to. I'm not going to attack you guys. I'm just saying I know how I look. Scary. So.
Scary Gary.
Scary Gary!
Do you want to slide a hand check to pick the lock?
Yes. Just beat a 10. Fantastic. You easily pick this lock. It's very simple. It's a masterwork lock. You basically pull out another padlock and smack the lock, and it breaks open. And you go inside. Do you go inside?
Oh, yeah. I guess so.
Okay. Go inside, and you see there is 2 shelves on each wall, and there are 2 piles of bones, kind of neatly piled together, on each side. You can tell that this place is slightly elevated. Like the shelves are pretty high up. They're about 5 feet up, and the whole building itself is about 5. It has a foundation of like 5 feet.
He's gonna look around real quick to see if there's anything valuable here. If it was
Sure.
locked, it probably has value.
Gonna rob the dead.
Xerix is not against great property.
You do see that there is a chest over here. That'll do. There you go. And it's, you could tell that it used to be a really nice looking chest. But its leather has kind of warped a bit from just the coldness and being in a dry room.
You'll rifle through that.
Okay. Let's take a look at what loot you get. Loot.
Yippee!
Letters from home, 2 wedding rings.
Definitely 2 wedding rings. Definitely like a book that has like some religious spiels in it. Like, you know, it's like some kind of holy text. And then it's got like a family tree in the back that people have handwritten. Here we are.
Letters from orphans, thanking them for their generous
You find-
donations and work towards them.
You find a letter to a lover back home. You find a golden yellow topaz gem worth 500 gold. You find a rope necklace with a simple iron heart on it. You find a sketchbook filled with talented drawings of nature and scenes of a soldier's life.
Oh shit, Gary, I found your stuff.
What?
Okay, I take all of it.
Okay. Even the sketchbook?
Yeah.
All right. Gary's like, is it all good in there?
After he takes the stuff, he'll like start mumbling to himself, like stupid little undead trying to make us do stuff, and he'll grab the bones, like they're very neatly placed, like they're laying there, and he'll just like with 2 arms pick it up and like start throwing it out the front to like making room for a new person. Just got Gary doing stuff. He'll just start throwing all the bones out. All right, it's empty. You got your stuff.
God.
We done here.
Oh, man. Oh, you guys. He's like, pardon me. And he kind of carefully steps over the bones. He's like, no hard feelings. And he gets inside. He's like, oh, this is nice. Look at this. Oh, it's so roomy in here. And it's so dry. Oh, it's the best. Oh, my gosh. How could I ever thank you guys? You know what?
And when he gets in there, I will dry him off.
Oh, my bones have never been drier. You know what? And he kind of approaches you guys and he's like, you guys have helped me a lot with you big guy, you know, trying to bury me earlier. You did your best efforts. It was nice and cozy until the water came, but that's no fault of your own. And then you guys just clearing this area for me. And then you drying me off. It's nice. You know what? And he kind of pulls out from, you don't really quite know where, but he pulls out a badge. And on this badge, it says it's a commanding rank of an officer of the guard of Caer Caladir. And he's like, I don't know if this will be useful for you, but, you know, this maybe will help give you authority in some places in Caer Caladir. And you just show this badge to any of the gods there, and they'll have your back with whatever you need. And he says, like, you ever want to visit? You know where I am. Yeah, thanks. And he throws like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. He throws 5 platinum at you guys. Just kind of like pulls them out, and he's like,